Spark the brain, 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 spark the brain. We here. Spark the brain, spark the brain, spark the brain. It's the third round, RPB. I don't know if they ready for this one, man. You gotta switch it up on them a little bit. You know what I'm talking about? Have a seat at the master's table. We ain't asked for no seat. We went and built up our own. You see, it's rather stable. You got 2 eyes, 2 ears, you know the rest. Look, listen, and observe, but also respect. In God we trust. It's obvious. The money ain't the root of all evil, but lack thereof. That's why they deprive you of resources. Why they focus on streams of income, at least 3 sources. We certified, we solidified. And they say they created hip-hop, but all that shit is lies. Cause every element came before the development of what we callin' hip-hop now. It's all relevant to all the topics we gon' touch on. Spoiler alert, as we play this album, ain't no club songs. Boy, that hurt, but this ain't no conscious album. It's just that real shit, that Black God mantra album. I hope y'all feel this. Spark the brain, 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 spark the brain. Spark the brain, spark the brain, spark the brain. Spark the brain, spark the brain, spark the brain. Spark the brain, spark the brain, spark the brain. Spark the brain, spark the brain, spark the brain. Spark the brain, spark the brain, spark the brain. My mind is spark the brain, spark the brain.
The masters, the masters, the masters, the masters.
Peace, God.
Hey, Dad. He's so good.
Hey, man, I got you a new book.
A new book?
Check it out. Check it out. Let me know how you like it. I'll be back. Man, this Bitcoin, this Ethereum ain't doing nothing for me right now, man. Gotta find some new investments.
Peace, God. What you doing?
Peace, God. It's good.
I think this book is kind of inappropriate.
Inappropriate? What's up with it?
It's inappropriate because look at these.
LGBT? Oh, man, I'm sorry about that, God.
I accept your apology.
Man, it's a shame, man. You can't even find no decent books for you nowadays without having to have these difficult conversations.
I have an idea. Maybe
that?
we should make a series of our own book.
A book series? That is a good idea.
7 volumes.
7, I get it. 7 volumes. What should we call it?
7 the Super Hey Rude.
7 the Perfect. 7 the Super Hey Rule.
And then maybe we could even make some bundles of it once we get to volume 3.
Oh, see, now you're thinking like a businessman. I like that idea, man. A foundational Black American children's series.
Perfect.
Visit www.godcastbooks.com and pre-order your book today.
Peace. This is the Black Dot, father, author, writer, poet, MC, one half of the dynamic duo, the #1 father and son podcast, Urban X TV. I am super excited about the new release, The Master's Table, by Sincere Love to God and RP Beats. This album is going to be crazy. It's the follow-up to The Spear and The Shield. Already know what time it is. It's got some dope pieces on it. You're going to love it. Also on the album is yours truly, The Black Dot. So you want to go to The Masters RSVP and secure your copy now. They got a bundle package. You get a backdrop, you get a poster, you get the digital download, you get the physical copy, you get a hoodie. The whole process is really crazy. So RSVP to Masters RSVP, and you can get that dope album, My Sincere Love to God and RP Beats, The Master's Table. You will never be disappointed at how dope this project is going to be. Peace.
Have a seat at the master's table. We ain't asked for no seat. We went and built up our own. You see, it's rather stable. You got 2 eyes, 2 ears, you know the rest. Look, listen, and observe, but also respect. In God we trust. It's obvious. The money ain't the root of all evil, but lack thereof. with resources. While they focus on streams of income, at least 3 sources. We certified, we solidified. And they say they created hip-hop, but all that shit is lies. Cause every element came before the development of what we callin' hip-hop now. It's all relevant to all the topics we gon' touch on. Spoiler alert, as you play this album, ain't no club songs. Boy, that hurt, but this ain't no conscious album. It's just that real shit, that Black God mantra album. I hope y'all feel this.
You recognize this technique? Huh? 5 elements. You remember.
Somebody in the house say yeah. Wow. Pull the foot down, represent. Pull the foot down, represent to the fullest. Oh, I think I'm Ghostface, Raekwon, Purple Tape, Napalm. Rainy Days was a great song. 10 fire emojis, face palm. Wait for him. The God takes his time. He studied knowledge himself, circa 85. Not to dwell on the past, these are the greatest times. Peace to those who survived the Ronald Reagan crime era, the sentence disparities, etc. The list goes on and on and on. It's a plethora. Too many injustices. Don't want to be redundant. If the 13th Amendment loophole wasn't enough to light a fire under your ass, then you gon' die a sucker. Don't want to unite with you. I don't want nothing from you, but a lot of distance. I was overly optimistic, but everybody ain't gon' make it. It was written. Too many black girls lost, and even at this hour, niggas street dreaming. Would've thought that they gave you power. Watch them niggas, cause they ain't get the message. Time to take affirmative action. Peace and blessings. I think I'm Ghostface, Raekwon, Purple Tape, Napalm. That 23rd letter raised me right. I got 5% left in my lyrical DNA. I think I'm Ghostface, Raekwon, Purple Tape, Napalm. That 23rd letter raised me right. I got 5% left in my lyrical DNA. I think I'm just a genius. Liquid swords, mastered the 64 squares on the chessboard. My 8 pawns regulating the fort. My clan in the front do investigative reports. We in the 4th chamber, all I see is war and danger. Gotta label my inner demons and all the strangers. My horsemen got their eyes on the sparrow, and snipers on top of both castles with long barrels. The archbishop holding a double-sided blade. It's a cold world, niggas be coming sideways. Basic instructions before leaving Earth was written in the holy tablets way before I was birthed. Let's go beneath the surface with amplified samples. High price, small reward, that ain't a wise gamble. We cover every direction, you know what that means. The strongest piece on this whole team is my black queen. I think I'm Ghostface, Raekwon, Purple Tape, Napalm. That 23rd letter raised me right. I got 5% left in my lyrical DNA. I think I'm Ghostface, Raekwon, Purple Tape, Napalm. That 23rd letter raised me right. I got 5% left in my DNA.
It's just the love, man, the love and the loyalty, and the way they was doing it, man. It was just so sharp, man.
On the foot down, represent. Of course, we are lyrical assassins, and we are aware that the tongue is symbolic for sword. You know what I'm saying? So we work with it like that.
Somebody in the house say, yeah. Blow. Hold the fort down, represent. Hold the fort down, represent. Somebody in the house say, yeah. Blow. Hold the fort down, represent. Peace to the gods. What's going on, family? Welcome to another episode of Sincere Love the Godcast. And this is the Masters Decoded. And today, as you can see the topic on your screen, we are going to be analyzing, deciphering, and decoding the lyrics to Purple Tape off of that Masters Table album. Hopefully you got the Masters Table album already. If you haven't, let me go to my banners over here. Where my banners at? Let me get my banners popping. You can go to Godcast. Oh, well, I'll get to that one in a second. But you can go to the mastersrsvp.com and order your physical copies, order the digital downloads, get your merch and all of that good stuff. But the album is also available on all streaming platforms. So you can go to Spotify, you can go to Tidal, Apple Music, YouTube, whatever you like to go stream that album right now. And so today we are doing Purple Tape, which is probably the most highly requested joint off of the album, I would say. Also, another reminder, man, we got the children's book series, 7 The Superhero Rule, 7-volume series, and volume 1 is available now. Go to godcastbooks.com and order 7's Big Move today. We got some dope merch and stuff like that coming your way. Also, we are gearing up for the FBA Expo coming in a couple of weeks, May 27th, Memorial Day weekend in Dallas, Texas. Me and the Godcast team, Nicety Girl, Crown 808, 7 Heru, Young Ty, all of us will be in the building at the FBA Expo. The books will be on deck. The CDs will be on deck. We're going to have some merch on deck for y'all and some cool giveaways for the family as well. So looking forward to seeing some of y'all out in Dallas, Texas in a couple of weeks. In the meantime, I need everybody to hit that like button. Make sure that you share this out on your social media platforms. Let everybody know that we live today and we're going to be breaking down Purple Tape. Most people that heard the album say this is their favorite song. So tag somebody who need to know that we on here breaking down their favorite song today. Purple Tape. What else I need y'all to do? In case you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, definitely want to do that. Hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you can be reminded whenever we go live with new content on this here channel. Definitely want to stay tapped in with us. Peace to the family that's climbing up in the chat right now. I see y'all. I appreciate y'all. All of the day ones out here. My co-host, Nicety Girl in the building. Peter Ogun. Another Godcast member, Nikki the God. What's going on, Nikki the God? Oh, man. What's going on? Greg Nice. Greg NICE. What's going on, my brother, DJ RP Beats in the digital building. Everybody share this out, family. Everybody share this out. My sinuses is acting up a little bit over here. I got some tissue on deck. My sinuses is acting up a little bit over here, man. What's going on with everybody, though? Excuse me. Man. So yeah, we opened it up with the little Purple Tape joint. It's not the official video. Just something, we did at the barbershop, messing around, trying to put some content together or whatever. But it look all right, though. Don't y'all think it look all right? I think it look all right. But we really want to do an official video for that joint right there, since people seem to like it so much. This song right here, to me, is probably the most hip-hop song that me and RP did on any of our projects. Like, we always keep it hip-hop, don't get it wrong, but I'm just saying this is like one of those pure just we paying homage to the Wu-Tang, so we couldn't do it any other way. We paying homage to the Wu-Tang and to the Purple Tape in particular. You know what I'm saying? So we couldn't do it any other way. So this is like the most hip-hop song that me and RP did to date, I think. It's just one of them straight up rap joints. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's still laced with the knowledge, still laced with the information. And we're going to get into that today. We're going to break down some of the poetry. You know what I mean? It's some high level stuff, some high level techniques being executed on this joint from a lyrical standpoint. And so some of y'all may be surprised. Some of y'all are definitely in tuned, and, the breakdown is kind of redundant for some of y'all. But for many people, they don't really, a lot of stuff goes over their head. The majority of people, 85% of the people, I would say a lot of stuff goes over their heads. Not just speaking about what I'm saying. The things that I'm saying, I would say the percentage wouldn't be that high. Most people could comprehend what I'm saying. But I'm saying when I talk about some of the techniques that are being employed, implored, applied, whatever. Some of the techniques that I'm using, that goes over, I would say, 85% of the listeners' heads. And so that's why we have the Masters Decoded series, so that we could break some of that stuff down and that everybody could be on the same page. Everybody could have the same level of appreciation for the joints. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, that's just raw footage. That's just raw footage. That's not the official video. Notice we haven't put it out there like that. It's not on YouTube like that or anything really. You know what I'm saying? I just shared it with the family. We family here, so y'all can see, you know, the rawness, the raw footage and all that. I like to take y'all along with us for the ride during the creative process. Let y'all see the good, the bad, the ugly, all of the mistakes that we made, some of the ideas that just remain ideas and never really come to fruition. I like to let y'all on the inside of that because y'all are the family. Y'all are with us on this journey. Y'all are part of the creative process. Some of the songs, some of the lyrics are even inspired by y'all. You know what I'm saying? And so y'all invited to the cookout. Y'all are invited to the cookout. So who's bringing the potato salad? That's the question. Who's making the mac and cheese? That's what I want to know. Who's bringing the potato salad and who's making the mac and cheese? So let me see. Let me stop sharing this right here. Oh, actually, I could do it like this. Go right here. Title has been updated. Okay, that's cool. I'll get into that a little bit later. So let me see what y'all talking about over here. Lyrical wise, Sincere's wordplay is insane. You opened up the 37th chamber. I'll take it. Peter Ogun, I will take it. Yes, indeed. I used to get in fights with Negroes because I was on New York hip hop heavy. Nigga, you ain't from New York. We don't listen to that shit down south. For real? Is that true? Niggas wasn't listening to Wu-Tang? That's weird to me. Like, I could understand certain shit, like maybe like M.O.P. or Mobb Deep even. Like Gangstar, you know what I'm saying? Who else would I would say? Like I can't even think of nobody right now. But certain people like that, like I could kind of understand would be regional. You know what I'm saying? It would be a regional thing. But niggas wasn't bumping Wu-Tang or Biggie Smalls. Like what? Yeah, they from New York, but that shit is universal. That shit is universal. Only a select few was tapped in. Yeah, that's strange to me, man. And see, because me, I'm a hip hop head, and so I never really, obviously, you know what I'm saying, I have an affinity for the New York sound, and for, you know, a lot of New York shit is going to be more of the soundtrack to my life. But I never had that block from having appreciation from other sounds from other regions and all of that. Like I always was tapped in to, you know, a lot of the Southern acts, a lot of the West Coast acts, people from overseas, wherever. If they made some dope shit, it didn't really matter to me where niggas is from like that. You know what I'm saying? But there is certain shit that's just regional. You got to kind of be from there to really understand the slang, some of the references and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But Wu-Tang, I mean, I get it if people from other places don't understand some of the slang, but even if you're from New York, some of the Wu-Tang slang is very encrypted anyway. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have knowledge yourself. You gotta be God body, you know, some supreme mathematics, supreme alphabets to get into, to unlock one of the levels. But then there's even levels beyond that because they got their own regional Staten Island slang that nobody else don't know what they talking about. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be on a certain frequency to really be tapped into Wu-Tang all the way like that. But still, like that's probably one of the biggest groups in rap history. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really understand niggas not tapping into the Wu like that. And so if you're watching this live with me right now, or if you're watching this on the replay,
and you wasn't really into Wu-Tang like that, you don't really know about the purple, you don't even know what we talking about when we say purple tape, type a number 3 in the chat just so I know who you guys are. If you're watching this on the replay, let us know who you are in the comment section. Just let me know. Like, yeah, well, I'm from such and such city, or I'm from such and such state, and yeah, I ain't grow up on Wu-Tang like that. Or maybe you young. Maybe you watching this and you young, and you wasn't really into Wu-Tang like that, and you ain't never get put on to Wu-Tang like that. Type a number 3 in the chat, or if you're watching this on the replay, let us know in the comment section. Yeah, nobody never really put me onto the Wu like that. And so, if that is you, and I don't know if you got to be a hip hop head. I don't know if you necessarily got to be like a hip hop junkie like myself. But if you like rap music, you know what I'm saying? If you're into hip hop music, I would suggest that you go listen to the Purple Tape. It's really called Only Built for Cuban Links by Raekwon the Chef, co-starring Ghostface Killer. I would suggest that you go listen to that album, man. I don't care where you from. I don't care how old you are. I don't care who your favorite rapper is. I would suggest you go listen to Only Built for Cuban Links. It's a certified classic. Nicety girl, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. She said, I'm from LA and I wasn't into the Wu like that. I'm from New York and I still was into NWA like that. I still was bumping the Dog Pound. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. But anyway, on this song right here, we paying homage to Wu-Tang overall, the Purple Tape in particular, and we even pay some homage to Nas on this joint. And we're going to get into how all of that breaks down in just a minute. Yeah, I agree with that, Greg Nice. You got to kind of get introduced via 36 Chambers first. If you're not up on Wu-Tang at all, you got to listen to 36 Chambers. What the hell is wrong with y'all? Are y'all crazy or something? Listen. If you are like Nicety Girl and you're not up on Wu-Tang like that, meaning you never listened to 36 Chambers, and up until this moment you have considered yourself to be a hip-hop head, you're not. Let's stop saying that. You're not a hip-hop head if you never heard 36 Chambers. That's like a bare minimum thing. That's like a bare minimum requirement to be considered a hip-hop head, is to know something about 36 Chambers. It don't got to be your favorite. You don't got to know every single word. But if you don't know about 36 Chambers, you're not a hip-hop head, man. You're not a hip-hop head. You probably like to listen to like adult contemporary R&B more so. You listen to like Luther Vandross, Whitney Houston, you know what I'm saying? Like that's your lick right there. When you get in the whip, you throwing on that Luther, you throwing on you know what I'm saying, some Tina Marie or something. Ain't nothing wrong with that, by the way. I'm an R&B head. Anybody that know me would tell you I'm an R&B head. You know what I'm saying? But that adult contemporary R&B, I got to be in a certain mood to listen to some goddamn. Actually, I'm never going to listen to Will Downing, but you might be a Will Downing type of individual if you don't know about 36 Chambers. You probably bump Will Downing while you cleaning the house or something. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way you don't know about 36 Chambers. You know what I'm saying? You ride around listening to Maxwell and shit like that. You know what I mean? And I ain't mad at you. I'm not mad at you. But just in case you thought you was a hip-hop head, I just want to correct things for the record. You are not a hip-hop head. You listen to adult contemporary R&B music. You like the old Mariah Carey. You know what I'm saying? You listen to some Tony Braxton, Boys to Men, shit like that. That's what you listen to. All right? That's what you listen to. You can hang out with my mama. Peace to Mama Love in the building. You can hang out with my mama. If you don't know about 36 Chambers, you and Mama Love could throw on some Will Downing and some Regina Bell or something, and y'all could get down. Y'all could get down. I never liked Will Downing. I can't stand Will Downing. My mom be playing that shit. I do not like Will Downing at all. Sorry, Mom. I don't like that nigga. Mashuma Saba. Peace to the God. What's going on? What's going on? Now, some of the bros from here started to tap in when me and Old Dirt McGirt dropped their solo. Meth and Old Dirt McGirt dropped their solo projects. Right. All right, so we're going to get into it, man. We're going to get into it. Let me pull this up right here. And we're going to get into this lyrical breakdown on today's episode of The Masses Decoded. And we are doing the purple tape for those of y'all that just tuned in. Let me take that off of here. All right, here we go. Here we go.
You recognize this technique? Huh? 5 elephants. You remember.
Somebody in the house say yeah. Wow. Pull the foot down, represent. Pull the foot down, represent to the fullest. Make sure these niggas.
Oh. Wow. First of all, shout out to my DJ RP Beats. Shout out to my DJ, my producer RP Beats. Because I remember when we was doing this and we was in the studio and RP kept saying something. RP kept saying something about some bow. He kept saying, yo, I hear that bow. And I didn't know what the hell RP was talking about. You know what I'm saying? But I trusted him, though. I trusted him. I didn't ask no questions. I just didn't know what he was talking about. I didn't know where he was going with it. You know what I'm saying? I just remember we was in the studio, we recorded and all that. He kept telling the engineer, shout out to Portier, he kept saying, yo, I hear that bow. I hear that bow. You got to put that bow in there somewhere. And I was like, what the hell is RP talking about? What bow? What bow is he hearing? I don't hear no bow. You know what I'm saying? But then when everything came together, I'm like, ooh, okay, that's what he was talking about. Yeah, okay.
Somebody in the house say yeah. Wow. Pull the foot down, represent. Pull the foot down, represent to the fullest. Make sure these niggas.
Oh, I think I'm Ghostface, Raekwon, Purple Tape, Napalm. Rainy Days was a great song. 10 fire emojis, face palm.
All right. We're going to stop right there. Yeah, RP killed the production. Like he always do. But yeah, I think I'm Ghostface, Raekwon. Oh, by the way, this song right here, this was probably the easiest song that I wrote for the album too. RP sent me this beat while I was at the barbershop cutting hair. Hold on a second. RP sent me this beat while I was in the barbershop cutting hair, and I wrote the song while I was cutting hair. Not technically wrote it, but I thought the song while I was cutting hair. You know what I'm saying? I'm just cutting, and I got the beat playing in the headphones, and immediately the words just started coming. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I had to figure out where to go with this or nothing. And mind you, when RP sends the beat, it's not everything that you're hearing when you hear the complete song. It's just like, you know what I'm saying, like a raw, rough draft. It don't even got all of the instruments in it and all of that. It's just kind of like, just like the skeleton of the beat. You know what I'm saying? But it just came to me while I'm cutting hair. I just immediately started. I think of Ghostface, Raekwon, Purple Tape, Napalm. Rainy Days was a great song. 10 fire emojis, face palm. And so I think of Ghostface, Raekwon. Obviously, I bit that off of Rick Ross, right? Rose from the BMF joint. How that BMF joint go again? I think I'm Big Meech, Larry Hoover, whipping work. Hallelujah. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of lifted that off of him and, you know, switched it to pay homage to Ghostface and Raekwon the Chef. And so, like I said, for those of you that don't know, the Purple Tape is Raekwon's album, which is called Only Built for Cuban Links. And it co-stars Ghostface Killer. Ghostface Killer is on almost all of the songs. You know what I'm saying? So the album became known as the Purple Tape because when it came out in 1995, the cassette, we were still bumping cassettes back then, and the cassette was actually purple. The tape was purple. You know what I'm saying? And he said he did that to kind of distinguish himself from everything else that was out there. Because you know how I say sometimes the rap game remind me of the crack game. Somehow the rap game reminds me of the crack game. And so a lot of us come from the streets. A lot of us come from hustling and all that. And so a way to distinguish yourself in the streets back in the days when you were selling crack vials was to have a different color than everybody else. You know what I'm saying? You had red tops, blue tops, purple tops, whatever. You had a different color top on the capsules to kind of distinguish you from everybody else's marketing. It's basically marketing. You know what I'm saying? And so he flipped that in the rap game and he had the purple cassette as a form of marketing. You know what I'm saying? And people say we need financial literacy in order to get reparations, but I digress. Though. You know what I'm saying? I would submit to you that we was already geniuses. You know what I mean? We made do with what we was given, but we already had genius concepts coming straight from the streets like that. And so, yeah, that was the Rick Ross shit. I think I'm Ghostface, Raekwon, Purple Tape, Napalm, because that's how I felt about the beat. When he sent me the beat, I'm like, Napalm, 10 fire emojis, face palm. So, you know, a lot of times how we communicate online, we use emojis. You don't always got to type in words to express yourself. You know what I mean? If somebody posts a fire song and that pop up on your timeline, you might not text a comment inside the comment section and say, yo, this song is fire right here. You might not type that, but you might just hit the fire emoji 10 times just to let them know how fire you think that joint really was, right? 10 fire emojis. And then at the end of the fire emoji, you might use the face palm emoji. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how I felt when I heard the beat. You know what I mean? 10 fire emojis, face palm. I might have texted that back to him when he sent the beat to me. That might have been my reply. 10 fire emojis and the face palm emoji. So what I need y'all to do right now, if you understand what I'm saying, is type 10 fire emojis and the face palm emoji in the chat right now. If you're watching this live, type 10 fire emojis and the face palm emoji in the chat to let me know that you're rocking with me. If you're watching this on the replay, type 10 fire emojis and the face palm emoji in the comment section to let me know that you're rocking with me today. All right? It's the Purple Tape. 95, can't remember which, but between FYE or Circuit City is where I purchased Only Built for Cuban Link. Yeah. Let me see. FYE, I don't think FYE was popping in 95 yet. I think FYE came a little bit later. At that time, me, myself, I was actually incarcerated in 95. I was actually incarcerated in 95 when that joint came out. I was in DFY. That's a division for youth in New York. I don't know what y'all call it in other states, but it used to be called DFY in New York, where they send the adolescents, you know, when you're too young to go to regular prison. So I was in DFY in 95 when this joint came out. And so I don't remember if it was my mom's or my girl or whoever. Somebody had to send me the joint. You know what I mean? Somebody had to send it to me in there. But I had the Purple Tape in there, though. I definitely had the Purple Tape in there with the Walkman and all that. We had the Sony Walkman, the little black Panasonic radios at the time. You know what I'm saying? That's how we was bumping music back in the days. There wasn't no streaming services and none of that. You had to go get this cassette. You had the black Panasonic radio. You know what I'm saying? Or you had you a Walkman. Sony Walkmans was the shit. What other Walkmans was the shit back in the days? You might have not even had the official Purple Tape. You might have dubbed the Purple Tape off of one of your mans and shit, and you had it on like a 90-minute Maxell tape or something like that. How many of y'all remember those days? How many of y'all remember those ones? All right, 10 fire emojis. Face palm. All right, let's carry on. Oh, wait. Got to share it with y'all.
Napalm. Rainy Days was a great song.
I forgot about that line. Rainy Days was one of the songs off the Purple Tape. And those are always my favorite songs. If you listen to the album, when you hear Rainy Days is one of those like solemn, melancholy, introspective type of joints. Those are always my favorite songs on any album. When the artist gets introspective and kind of, goes inward to talk about things. And it had the ill sample. That song actually, it was sampled by who? Timbaland sampled it for the song with Fabulous and Neo. I'm a movement by myself, but I'm a force when we're together. That song, it got the same sample from the Rainy Days song. So when you listen to the album, check out Rainy Days. That's my favorite joint.
10 fire emojis, face palm, wait for him. The God takes his time. He studied knowledge itself, circa 85. Not to dwell on the past, these are the greatest times. Peace to those who survived the Ronald Reagan crime era, the sentence disparities, etc. The list goes on and on and on. It's a plethora.
Should I let it go? Too many injustices. Yeah.
Too many injustices. Don't want to be redundant. If the 13th Amendment loophole wasn't enough to light up study knowledge itself, circa 85. Not to dwell on the past, these are the greatest times. Say, napalm. Rainy Days was a great song. 10 fire emojis, face palm, wait for him. The God takes his time. He studied knowledge itself, circa 85. Not to dwell on the past, these are the greatest times. Peace to those who survived the Ronald Reagan crime era.
All right. And also, man, I want y'all to pay attention to the production also. I want you to pay attention to the progression of the beat too. And also even like the karate sound effects in the background, like all of that is relevant. When you hear the sword swinging and all that, like all of that is relevant. You know what I'm saying? That's us lyrically and production-wise paying homage to Wu-Tang. You know what I'm saying? Peace, Crown 808. He said, oh, this is my shit. Yes. This the one right here. 10 fire emojis, face palm. I said, wait for him. The God takes his time. And I said that because we had already been started promoting the album. You know what I'm saying? Like I explained to y'all a few times, we thought we was done with the album a long time ago before the album took another direction and we got on our jazz shit. But this is around the time when we knew people was getting anxious and we was taking long to drop the album. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the reason why I said that. Wait for him. The God takes his time. All right? He studied knowledge itself, circa 85. And so that's just me, referencing myself on, when I got knowledge itself, when I got introduced to the lessons and all of that. As a baby, pretty much. As a small child, I was introduced to the understanding that the black man is God and all of that. And so I said, not to dwell on the past, these are the greatest times. And so, we paying homage to the Purple Tape and we paying homage to a certain era. And, I'm starting to talk about when I got knowledge itself and all of that. But at the same time, I'm saying, let's not dwell on the past, though, because these are the greatest times that we living in right now. There's nothing better than the present moment. You know what I'm saying? There's no greater time than the present moment, the now. You know what I'm saying? And so the time that we living in, with that saying, no greater time than the present, remaining present and being in the now, that kind of metaphysical understanding of things is relevant to what I'm saying. But also this current era that we living in, even with all the turmoil and things that we experiencing, going through the pandemic and all of that stuff recently, all of the stuff that we experiencing with the police murders and all of this stuff, like, even though it's a lot of crazy stuff that's taking place out here right now, really, these are the greatest times of our lives, of our generation. You know what I'm saying? Because even all of the things that we perceive as being negative is part of the labor pains that's going to bring us to the new life that we are entering into. You know what I'm saying? So not to dwell on the past, these are the greatest times. But peace to those who survived the Ronald Reagan crime era, right? Same era I'm talking about when I got knowledge itself. That was the Ronald Reagan crime era, the sentence disparities, etc. The list goes on and on and on. It's a plethora. Too many injustices. Don't want to be redundant. If the 13th Amendment loophole wasn't enough, all right, I'm going too far. I'm going too far. Let's rewind that. Peace to those who survived the Ronald Reagan crime era. And so we all know about the crack disparities, the 3-strike laws, the laws that they was coming up with to give you more time for crack cocaine than they was given for powder cocaine. You know, all of these codified laws that they was coming with to specifically target Black communities and to balloon mass incarceration rates and all of that stuff. You know, flooding the prison system with Black men and women, but Black men in particular, flooding the drugs into the community. You know what I'm saying? The crack cocaine era and all of that stuff, Reaganomics, all of that stuff. I'm saying those of us who are still here that came from that era, I'm just saluting. I'm just saluting y'all, because just the fact that we survived that is a W. We're not even supposed to be here. You know what I'm saying? That's warfare. The wealthiest country in the world with the strongest military in the world waged war on its minority population, and we still here. So peace to those who survived the Ronald Reagan crime era, the sentence disparities, etc. The list goes on and on and on. It's a plethora. Too many injustices. I like this part right here. Hold on.
Peace to those who survived the Ronald Reagan crime era, the sentence disparities, etc. The list goes on and on and on. It's a plethora. Too many injustices. Don't want to be redundant. If the 13th Amendment loophole wasn't enough to light a fire under your ass, then you gon' die a sucker. Don't want to unite with you. I don't want nothing from you, but. So, if the 13th Amendment loophole wasn't enough to light a fire under, hold on, let me get the rhyme scheme in order for y'all. Let me break that part down first. If the 13th Amendment loophole wasn't enough to light a fire under your ass, then you gonna die a sucker. So 13th Amendment loophole wasn't enough to, rhymes with light a fire under, and then fire under rhymes with die a sucker. So that's the rhyme scheme right there, right? But then what am I saying? You know, under the 13th Amendment, there was a loophole after slavery was abolished that if you committed a crime or were convicted of a crime, then slavery was legal all over again. You could legally be enslaved if you were convicted of a crime in this country. That's still the law of the land, right? Based on the 13th Amendment. That's still the law of the land right now. And that's why the mass incarceration is still considered slavery to this day. Read the book, The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander. Watch the documentary by, what's the lady name that did the documentary, The 13th, on Netflix. I think it's still on Netflix. I forgot the lady name who made the film, but Michelle Alexander is in there. A bunch of other people is in there. It's a good documentary to reference what I'm talking about on this part right here. If the 13th Amendment loophole wasn't enough to light a fire under your ass, then you're going to die a sucker. So I'm saying, if that wasn't enough to convince you, you know what I'm saying, that we still have legal slavery, that the system is still corrupt, the system is still unjust, and that Black people are still the direct targets of the system. If that wasn't enough to convince you, then you're always going to be a sucker. You know, there is no convincing you. There's nothing else that we can say, that we can show you that's going to wake your ass up. If you know that and you still making excuses for the system, you still saying vote blue no matter who and all of that shit, then there's no saving you. Everybody can't go. If the 13th Amendment loophole wasn't enough to light a fire under your ass, then you're going to die a sucker. Don't want to unite with you. I don't want nothing from you, but a lot of distance. But everybody always talking about unity, putting emphasis on unity and how we need to all get together and hold hands and all that. And I'm just saying, those type of niggas, I don't want to unite with them. I don't want nothing from you but a lot of distance. I was overly optimistic
but everybody ain't gonna make it. It was written. Meaning, I used to have hope for y'all niggas. If you was black, regardless to where your level of understanding was at, where your level of consciousness was at, I always felt like there was hope for our people. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody could be saved. And so I was overly optimistic, but everybody ain't gonna make it. It was written. And so now we're gonna get into this double entendre and these rhyme schemes for the rest of the verse. The rhyme scheme throughout the rest of the verse is double entendres taking place here. So pay attention.
Light a fire under your ass, then you gon' die a sucker. Don't wanna unite with you, I don't want nothing from you, but a lot of distance. I was overly optimistic, but everybody ain't gonna make it. It was written.
So the part that I just said, before I let that part play, the part that I just said, I was overly optimistic, but everybody ain't gonna make it. It was written. The rest of the verse, I'm just reiterating that sentiment right there. The rest of the verse, I'm just reiterating the sentiment that everybody ain't gonna make it. Everybody can't go. But I'm using a series of double entendres to express that sentiment. So you ready? Check it out.
Out of distance, I was overly optimistic, but everybody ain't gonna make it. It was written. Too many black girls lost, and even at this hour, niggas street dreaming. Would've thought that they gave you power. Watch them niggas, cause they ain't get the message. Time to take affirmative action. Peace and blessings.
All right, so before I explain it, how many of y'all peeped what I did there? After I said I was overly optimistic, but everybody ain't gonna make it. It was written. Too many black girls lost, and even at this hour, niggas street dreaming would have thought that they gave you power. Watch them niggas, because they ain't get the message. Time to take affirmative action. Peace and blessings. RP, do not answer the question. Hold on. The beat came to me at work. Oh, okay. We had a demo done the same day. Yeah, facts. I thought you was giving away the answer. But who peeped what I did there? Everybody ain't gonna make it. It was written. Too many black girls lost, and even at this hour, niggas street dreaming would have thought that it gave you power. Show y'all something. I know everybody in here is not a hip hop head, especially if you never heard 36 Chambers. All right. So Greg Knight said Nas. Okay. Greg Nas said Nas. Peter Ogun said it was written. The Black Girls Lost track. Okay, so y'all peeping some of the entendres. Nas and Jay-Z lost one? Nah, but you might, the thing about art is it's always open to interpretation. So you might have interpreted something that I didn't intentionally put out there. So tell me where you got the Nas and Jay-Z lost one connection from. Actually, lost one is not Nas and Jay-Z though. But no, that's not where I was going. But you could explain how you interpreted that. So just Greg Nice and Peter Ogun, y'all the only ones, huh? All right, so let me explain to y'all what I did there. I said everybody ain't gonna make it. It was written. And so it was written is the name of Nas' sophomore album. One of the most creative LPs ever to hit stores. And so this is me giving a shout out to Nas. And also I'm using his title and his titles within this album to reiterate my point how everybody ain't gonna make it. Casey and JoJo killed that chorus on Black Girl Lost. Yes, indeed. I think it was just JoJo though. Casey wasn't on there. It was just JoJo. And so this was Nas's second album. It was written. So everybody ain't gonna make it. It was written. And then I said, too many black girls lost. Where we at? And so as y'all can see, track number 10, the song is called Black Girls Lost. So everybody ain't gonna make it. It was written. Too many black girls lost. And even at this hour, niggas street dreaming. Hold on. Track number 3, the name of the song is Street Dreams. would have thought that it gave you power. Track number 4 is called I Gave You Power. Then I said, watch them niggas. Track number 5 is called Watch Them Niggas. So too many black girls lost, and even at this hour, niggas street dreaming would have thought that it gave you power. Watch them niggas because they ain't get the message. Track number 2 is called The Message. Time to take affirmative action. Track number 8 is called Affirmative Action. Peace and blessings. So I said, too many black girls lost. Track number 10. And even at this hour, niggas street dreaming. Track number 3 would have thought that it gave you power. Track number 4. Watch them niggas. Track number 5, because they ain't get the message. Track number 2, time to take affirmative action. Track number 8, peace and blessings. Right? So that's the double entendres right there. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving you all the various titles from the It Was Written album, but at the same time, I'm sticking to my point. So if the 13th Amendment loophole wasn't enough to light a fire under your ass, then you gonna die a sucker. Don't want to unite with you. I don't want nothing from you but a lot of distance. I was overly optimistic, but everybody ain't gonna make it. It was written. Too many black girls lost, and even at this hour, niggas street dreaming would have thought that it gave you power. Watch them niggas because they ain't get the message. Time to take affirmative action. Peace and blessings. I wish I had my horns ready. That deserves some horns right there. Oh shit, this was your facts. Wasn't the cover of that album on some comedic shit? Nah, that was the following album, the I Am album. So on the first album, he was a boy. Talking about Nas. On the Illmatic album, Nas was a boy. On the It Was Written album, he was a man. And on the I Am album, he was a king. So that's how that went. But yeah, so all of those titles, I stringed all the titles together just to reiterate my point on how everybody ain't gonna make it and the reasons why. So too many black girls lost. You know what I mean? We can relate that right now to we see it a lot out here with the city girl types. And I'm not talking about the city girls in particular. I don't know them girls. I ain't got nothing against them. But you know the types, the hot girl types. You know what I'm saying? Too many black girls lost. And even at this hour, niggas street dreaming. So it's not no gender divide type of situation going on. I'm calling out the females and I'm calling out the dudes. So I'm talking about the niggas who still out here trying to sell crack on the corner and shit like that. Niggas who still out here doing 1993 type shit. You know what I'm saying? So I say, even at this hour, niggas street dreaming would have thought that it gave you power. So if you ain't kingpin by now and you still out here doing the same shit we was doing in the 90s, it's no helping you. Everybody ain't gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? You still on that same, they got that same type of mentality. You still trying to do the same type of hustle that we was doing in the 90s. You haven't evolved from none of that. So too many black girls lost, and even at this hour, niggas street dreaming would have thought that it gave you power. I said, watch them niggas because they ain't get the message. Time to take affirmative action. Please, peace and blessings. Lord Jesus, I wish I had my sound effects on deck. I think of Ghostface, Raekwon, Purple Tape, Napalm. All right, so that was that right there, right? So let me do this real quick. We about to get into verse 2. But let me do this real quick. Okay, yeah, I'll explain it when we get there. Hold on. All right, boom. We go here. All right, let me pull this up. Let's get into verse 2, family. Here we go.
But everybody ain't gonna make it. It was written. Too many black girls lost, and even at this hour, niggas street dreaming would have thought that they gave you power. Watch them niggas, cause they ain't get the message. Time to take affirmative action. Peace and blessings. I think of Ghostface, Raekwon, Purple Tape, Napalm. That 23rd letter raised me right. I got 5% lessons in my lyrical DNA. I think of.
Hold on, I gotta do the hook though. Can't take the hook for granted. I gotta do the hook.
I think I'm Ghostface, Raekwon, Purple Tape, Napalm. That 23rd letter raised me right. I got 5% lessons in my lyrical DNA.
So I said I think I'm Ghostface, Raekwon, Purple Tape, Napalm. And then I said, that 23rd letter raised me right. What's the 23rd letter, family? What's the 23rd letter in the alphabet, family? Just type the letter in the chat. Just type the letter in the chat. That 23rd letter raised me right. I know it's a little bit of delay, but somebody gonna type the letter in the chat for me. That 23rd letter raised me right. No, Peter Ogun said the God Rakim. That's the 18th letter. The 18th letter is the R. The 18th letter is the letter R. Nikki the God says the letter U. No, it's not the letter U. Thank you, Crown 808 and Nicety Girl. It's the W. W stand for Wu-Tang Clan. That 23rd letter raised me right. We paying homage to the Wu on this joint. So when I say the 23rd letter raised me right, I'm talking about the W. I'm talking about the Wu-Tang Clan. You know what I'm saying? I'm paying homage to the ones that raised me right. The reason why I rhymed the way that I rhymed, because I studied the Wu. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. That 23rd letter raised me right. And then I said, I got 5% lessons in my lyrical DNA. And so my lyrical DNA, meaning the lineage of my rhyme style, my cadence, my flow, my wordplay, all of that, the lineage of what I do as an MC can be traced back to the 5% lessons, the 120 lessons. I got 5% lessons in my lyrical DNA. And for those of you that don't know, all of the Wu-Tang Clan members are 5%ers. All of the Wu-Tang Clan members are 5%ers. If y'all are amongst the ones that are not up on Wu-Tang like that, watch the show. Watch the Wu-Tang show. Binge watch the Wu-Tang show. It's a dope show, period. Whether you like Wu-Tang or not, it's a dope-ass show. But it's a good way to kind of get you up on Wu-Tang, get you into the culture of Wu-Tang Clan if you watch the show. Not only just listen to the 36 Chambers and listen to the Purple Tape, but if you watch the show, the way the RZA did the show was masterful. It was brilliant. You need to watch that show. So that 23rd letter raised me right. I got 5% lessons in my lyrical DNA. I think I'm Ghostface, Raekwon, Purple Tape, Napalm. I think
I'm Ghostface, Raekwon, Purple Tape, Napalm. That 23rd letter raised me right. I got 5% lessons in my lyrical DNA. I think I'm just a genius, liquid swords.
So we going here now. And see, the thing about it is, yes, I'm a hip hop head, but I'm also a Wu-Tang head. I'm a Wu-Bino. I am a Wu-Bino. And so it was my pleasure to do this record and pay homage to these brothers. And so I think I'm just a genius, liquid swords. And so the Jizza, the genius, is one of the members. There's 9 members of the Wu-Tang Clan. I can't believe I got to explain this to some people. But there's 9 members of the Wu-Tang Clan. One of the founders, one of the main 9 members is called the Jizza, a.k.a. the Genius. And his debut solo album is called Liquid Swords. I think I'm just a genius, Liquid Swords. Let me show y'all this. I'm happy that there are people who didn't already get it. I'm actually happy that there are people who didn't just hear the song and automatically know off top what I was talking about and call all the references and all of that. I'm happy that that was not the case, because now I get to break this down and explain it to people who can appreciate me breaking it down and explaining it. So check it out. I think I'm just a genius, Liquid Swords. This is the Liquid Swords album right here. Crazy, crazy, crazy album right here. Hold on. I thought he had a motion graphic on his joint. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see something. That's the jizzer right there. Let me see something though. I thought he had a motion graphic on his joint. I want to show the motion graphic. Let me see. Oh, there you go. There you go. I think I'm just a genius. Liquid swords, mastered the 64 squares on the chessboard. And so observe the album cover, family. You see they having a sword fight and they on a chessboard. It's a sword fight and they on the chessboard. Y'all can see that pretty good, right? Yeah, y'all can see it. Let me see. Bring this back.
Raise me right. I got 5% lessons in my lyrical DNA. I think I'm just a genius. Liquid swords, mastered the 64 squares on the chessboard.
I think I'm just a genius. Liquid swords, mastered the 64 squares on the chessboard. So Liquid Swords is the name of the album. As you can see on the album cover, they having a sword fight. They on a chessboard. A chessboard has 64 squares on it. There's 64 squares on a standard chessboard. Liquid swords is a double entendre. It's a metaphor for the tongue. The tongue is what they talk about when they talk about the liquid sword, because your tongue is considered to be a double-edged sword. It could be a tool, it could be a weapon, it could be something that empowers you, and it could be something that brings destruction and dysfunction into your life. It's the power of the tongue, the power of the word. And as MCs, we use the liquid sword a lot. You know what I'm saying? As MCs, we use a lot of words. Our tongue is the weapon. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a powerful position to hold to be an MC, because we speak life or we speak death constantly on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? Through our artistic expression. So I think I'm just a genius. Liquid swords, mastered the 64 squares on the chessboard. Let's break it down.
Lessons in my lyrical DNA. I think I'm Ghostface, Ray Paul, Purple Tape, Nate Paul. That 23rd letter raised me right. I got 5% lessons in my lyrical DNA. I think I'm just a genius. Liquid swords, mastered the 64 squares on the chessboard. My 8 pawns regulating the fort. My clan in the front do investigative reports.
My 8 pawns regulating the fort. My clan in the front do investigative reports. So you got 64 squares on the chessboard. The 8 pieces that are in the front row on the front line, because it's a war, right? It's a game of war when you're playing chess. And so the pieces that are on the front line are called pawns. And so you got 8 pawns on your side of the chessboard. So my 8 pawns regulating the fort. My clan in the front do investigative reports. And so I'm saying that the pawns are the clan in the front. Clan in the front is the name of a song on the 36 Chambers album, which is a Jizza solo song. Nobody else is on that song but the Jizza, I think. I think the Jizza is by itself on that song. So on the first Wu-Tang album, Jizza got a song by itself, and it's called Clan in the Front. And so I said, my 8 pawns regulating the fort. My clan in the front do investigative reports. And so investigative reports is the name of one of the songs on this album, the Liquid Swords album. Let me see, where it's at. Investigative Reports, that's track number 10 on the Liquid Swords album, featuring Raekwon, Ghostface, and U-God. So, let me say it again. I think I'm just a genius. Liquid Swords, mastered the 64 squares on the chessboard. My 8 pawns regulating the fort. My clan in the front do investigative reports. And so this verse right here is not just a double entendre, it's a triple entendre. Y'all got to pay attention to the references that I'm doing on this verse for real, for real. Because it's not just a double entendre, it's a triple entendre. Maybe a quadruple entendre. I got to double check. Because number one, I'm saying what I'm saying, right? I'm rhyming and I'm just saying whatever I'm talking about in the rhyme. And then I am utilizing a chess metaphor. Throughout the whole rhyme, I'm making chess references. So that's two right there. And then on top of that, I'm making Jizza Liquid Swords references. So that's three right there. All throughout the rhyme, I'm making these chess references. The whole entire verse is a chess match. The verse is also paying homage to the Liquid Swords album. And I'm shouting out, I'm referencing various titles, bars, different things from the Liquid Swords album. Right? And then at the same time, the base of what I'm saying, just, you know, what I'm rhyming about on a base level, that's there. So it's really a quadruple entendre throughout the entire verse. It's masterful, if I do say so myself. Let's go through it. I'm going to play the verse straight through and then I'm going to break it down.
Swords, mastered the 64. Napalm. That 23rd letter raised me right. I got 5% lessons in my lyrical DNA. I think I'm just a genius. Liquid swords, mastered the 64 squares on the chessboard. My 8 pawns regulating the fort. My clan in the front do investigative reports. We in the 4th chamber. All I see is war and danger. Gotta label my inner demons and all the strangers. My horsemen got their eyes on the sparrow. And snipers on top of both castles with long barrels. The archbishop holding the double-sided blade. It's a cold world. Niggas be coming sideways. Basic instructions before leaving Earth was written in the holy tablets way before I was birthed. Let's go beneath the surface with amplified samples. High price, small reward. That ain't a wise gamble. We cover every direction. You know what that means. The strongest piece on this whole team is my black queen. I think I'm good.
Man.
Purple tape. Napalm. That 23rd letter raised me right. I got 5% lessons in my lyrical DNA. I think I'm Bruce Reese. Ray Paul. Purple tape. Napalm. That 23rd letter raised me right. I got 5% lessons in my lyrical DNA. I think I'm just a genius. Liquid swords, mastered the 64 squares on the chessboard. My 8 pawns regulating the fort. My clan in the front do investigative reports. We in the 4th chamber. All I see is war and danger. Gotta label my inner demons and all the strangers. We in the 4th chamber. 4th chamber is track number 7. And 4th chamber is the illest episode. I think the name of the episode from the Wu-Tang show is called Legend of the Liquid Swords. That's the illest episode out of the whole entire series, where they break down this 4th chamber joint right here. It's ridiculous. It's almost as good as this verse. It's almost as good as this verse. But we in the 4th chamber. All I see is war and danger. Gotta label my inner demons and all the strangers. And so Labels is the name of track number 6. So that was 4th chamber and that was Labels. We in the 4th chamber. My 8 pawns regulating the fort. Clan in the front doing investigative reports. We in the 4th chamber. All I see is war and danger. Gotta label my inner demons and all the strangers. So just saying, you got to peep game. We at war. So you got to be consciously aware. You got to be woke, right? You know what I'm saying? You got to use the right labels. You got to use the right words. It's a war of words. It's the war is happening on many different fronts. And so we in the 4th chamber. All I see is war and danger. Got to label my inner demons and all the strangers. So the inner demons you got to take care of first. You know what I'm saying? Community development begins with self-improvement. So you got to work on yourself first, right? You got to make sure that you are raised up in consciousness. You got to make sure that you are prepared for the war that is taking place, right? And then
or the strangers. Then you got to deal with the outside forces. You know what I'm saying? And so it's microcosm, macrocosm. You know what I'm saying? We in the fourth chamber. All I see is war and danger. Gotta label my inner demons and all the strangers. Then I said, my horsemen got their eyes on the sparrow. And so y'all familiar with the chess pieces, right? One of them that's called a knight, it's a horse. One of them that's called a knight, or it was two pieces on each side that look like horses. Those are called knights. And so I said, my horsemen got their eyes on the sparrow and snipers on top of both castles with long barrels. And so the rook, the two pieces on the end that look like castles, my horsemen got their eyes on the sparrow, and snipers on top of both castles with long barrels. And so I'm referencing the different chess pieces and the moves that those pieces are allowed to make, the qualities that those pieces have, the characteristics and the qualities that those different pieces have. We in the fourth chamber. All I see is war and danger. Gotta label my inner demons and all the strangers. My horsemen got their eyes on the sparrow and snipers on top of both castles with long barrels. There's another piece called the bishop. I don't think I got that far. Hold on a second.
I label my inner demons and all the strangers. My horsemen got their eyes on the sparrow and snipers on top of both castles with long barrels. The archbishop holding the double-sided blade. It's a cold world. Niggas be coming sideways.
I said the archbishops holding a double-sided blade. It's a cold world. Niggas be coming sideways. And so Cold World is the name of one of the songs on this album also. Cold World is one of my favorite songs on this album, actually. Right here is track number 5, featuring Inspector Deck. And they sampled Stevie Wonder's song on here called, what's Stevie Wonder's song called? Skyrocket or something like that? I know RP Beats, if you in here, I know you know what it is. But they be flying brothers dying and busting no shot. Shit is deep on the block and you got me locked down in this cold world. Nikki the God says, Sincere Love the God is the dopest conscious rapper. I'll take it. Thank you very much, Nikki the God. Yep. The 10th MC was Capadonna. Yep, that's true. We in the fourth chamber. All I see is war and danger. Gotta label my inner demons and all the strangers. My horsemen got their eyes on the sparrow and snipers on top of both castles with long barrels. I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing nothing that I need to point out to y'all. Snipers on top of both castles with long barrels. The archbishop holding the double-sided blade. So the bishops are the pieces that look like they look like knights. Even though the horse is called the knight, the bishops are the pieces that look like a knight in shining armor. Those are those pieces they call bishops. So the archbishop holding the double-sided blade. It's a cold world. Niggas be coming sideways. And I said niggas be coming sideways because the bishops, they can only move diagonally across the board. They can only move on the color that they own. When you begin the game, one of the bishops is on a black square, the other bishop is on a white square. And those pieces can only move diagonally, and they have to stay on the same color square. So it's a cold world. Niggas be coming sideways. Niggas be coming sideways. I told you the whole verse is a chess game, and at the same time, I'm shouting out, I'm referencing some of the song titles from this album and from his other album called Beneath the Surface. Hold on a second.
Holding the double-sided blades, it's a cold world. Niggas be coming sideways. Basic instructions before leaving Earth was written.
Basic instructions before leaving Earth was written in the holy tablets way before I was birthed. So basic instructions before leaving Earth is an acronym for Bible. Bible stands for Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth. And it's the title to one of the songs on the Liquid Swords album. And the Jizz is not actually on that song. That's a song by brother that I interviewed right here on this show, actually. Killer Priest. I interviewed him a few months back. Y'all could go back and check that interview out that I did with him right here. But that's his song, his solo song on the GZA's album. The GZA gave him his own song on the album, and the song is called Bible. Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth. Was written in the holy tablets way before I was birthed. So I'm just saying the Bible was written way before I was born. That's all. Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth was written in the holy tablets way before I was birthed. Let's go beneath the surface. And so now I switched it up. So this was the Liquid Swords joint, right? I said, just to recap real quick, I think I'm just a genius, Liquid Swords, mastered the 64 squares on the chessboard, right? My 8 pawns regulating the fort, my clan in the front do investigative reports. So I told y'all, Clan in the Front is the name of GZA's solo song on Wu-Tang first album, 36 Chambers. Investigative Reports is track number 10 on this album. We in the Fourth Chamber. That's track number 7 off the album. All I See Is War and Danger. Got a label. Labels is number 6 on this album. My Inner Demons and All the Strangers. My horsemen got their eyes on a sparrow and snipers on top of both castles with long barrels. The Archbishop holding a double-sided blade. It's a cold world. Cold world is... What number is Cold World? Cold World is track number 5 on the album. Niggas be coming sideways. Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth, and that's track number 13. Was written in the holy tablets way before I was birthed. Then I said, let's go beneath the surface. So after the Liquid Swords album, let me go here. The GZA did an album called Beneath the Surface. So I left the Liquid Swords album. I said, let's go beneath the surface. Right? Here we go.
And in the holy tablets way before I was birthed. Let's go beneath the surface with amplified samples. High price, small reward. That ain't a wise gamble.
Let's go beneath the surface with amplified samples. So Beneath the Surface was the next album. Track number 2 is called Amplified Samples. High price, small reward. That's track number 8. That ain't a wise gamble. We covered every direction. You know what that mean? The strongest piece on this whole team is my black queen.
We cover every direction. You know what that means. The strongest piece on this whole team is my black queen.
Listen, we covered every direction. You know what that mean? The strongest piece on this whole team is my black queen. And so again, for those of y'all who are not familiar with the game of chess, the queen is the most powerful piece on the chessboard. The strongest piece on this whole team is my black queen. And so usually when I play chess, I like to pick the black pieces. That's just me. Even though the white pieces get to move first, I like to pick the black pieces. And so the strongest piece on this whole team is my black queen. And the queen can move in any direction on the chessboard. The queen could go frontwards as many spaces as it wants to. It could go diagonally as many spaces as it wants to. It could go backwards. It could go sideways as many spaces as it wants to. And so I said, we cover every direction. You know what that means. The strongest piece on this whole team is my black queen. Is there I don't think they got no chess piece emojis on hand, do they? But yeah, man, that's how that went. That's how that went. And like I said, I'm glad that a lot of y'all like the song, even though you didn't know all of that, what I just pointed out. Even though you ain't know I was doing all of that. You didn't know I was playing chess. You ain't know I was naming songs off of the GZA's albums or none of that. But you like the song. So that's a testament to what we say, master elements, right? We always say our goal, our primary goal, regardless to what the message is, regardless to what we talking about within the song, our primary goal is just to make a dope song that people can enjoy, that people will like. You know what I'm saying? It ain't going to be for everybody, of course. You can't please everybody. But I'm just saying, the primary objective is to make a dope song. And so the fact that y'all didn't know that I was doing all of that in the rhyme, but you still like the song, means we accomplished that goal. We accomplished that goal. But now it's kind of this episode right here, it's kind of bittersweet for me. I would say it's bittersweet for me because I feel like by me explaining all of that, by me breaking it down like that, it kind of took some of the magic away from it. I feel like it demystified it a little bit. And now it's like, oh, the illusion is gone. I lifted the veil. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's sweet because I like to see people's eyes come open. That always been a point of satisfaction for me, to watch people become enlightened to certain things. Like I said, when the purple tape came out, I was in DFY. I was locked up. I was 16, and in DFY, you got kids in there that was like 12, 13 years old, all the way up to 17, I think, maybe 18. But I think when you on your 18th birthday, if you still have more time to do, they sent you to the big house. So I think it was like up to 17 years old, right? And it's jail. It's still prison, just like any other prison, but it's just for minors, right? But when I was in there, that was the first time that I was aware of people didn't know how to read and write. It was kids in there that didn't know how to read and write. You know what I'm saying? And so that's really where I discovered my gift for writing and developed the appreciation for reading. You know what I'm saying? When I was in there, I read the autobiography of Malcolm X for the first time. I read a book called Make Me Wanna Holler. I forgot the name of that author. I think his last name was McCall, something McCall. But it was like an autobiography about him. Make Me Wanna Holler. That was like a bestseller at the time. I read a book called Man Child in the Promised Land by, I think his name is Claude Brown. I think it was Claude Brown was the name of the author of Man Child in the Promised Land. That was another autobiography. That's a classic book right there about his brother. I think his name was Claude Brown. He was born in the South, I think in the Carolinas he was from. And talk about him moving to Harlem during like that Harlem Renaissance era. And people in the South, this is coming out of Reconstruction, post-slavery and all of that. People were looking at Harlem like it was some sort of promised land. People in the South, it was like, if I could just get to Harlem type shit. And so that book right there was incredible. I read that. That's when I was really started studying the 5% lessons, the 120 lessons. That's when I really got into those lessons heavy. I remember they did a cell search and they found my lessons and they confiscated my lessons. And then, I got written up and all of that type of shit for contraband and all of that. And then when you get a write-up, you get the ticket, you got to go through it's like going to court. You got to go through a hearing process and to determine whether you was guilty or not guilty of whatever you're being accused of. And so I remember going through that process and you had a couple of the staff members, which are kind of like the COs, and then you had the counselors that conduct the hearing. And I pled my case about why I felt like they shouldn't be allowed to confiscate my lessons. You know what I'm saying? Because they were saying that it was gang material. They considered the 5%ers to be a gang. And so the lessons was contraband because it was considered to be gang material at that time. And I remember I pled my case because in addition to the 120 lessons, we had the Supreme Mathematics, we had the Supreme Alphabets, we had something called the 12 Jewels, and we had something called the 5% Pledge, right? And so the 5% Pledge was pretty much like the mission statement of the 5% Nation of Gods and Earths. And so I told them to pull out the 5% pledge. And I said, let's go through it. And if you could point out anything in there that's negative, then you should find me guilty. That I'm guilty of having contraband and being a gang member. But if it's 100% positive, then you should give me my lessons back. And I should be found not guilty. And we went through the whole thing. And all it was talking about was free, love, peace, and happiness, freedom, justice, and equality. Standing upright as a man, being righteous. It was all about righteousness and upliftment. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't nothing in there about hating anybody. Wasn't nothing in there about no violence, causing no destruction towards nobody, no negativity. It was all about teaching you to be a man and be upright as a man or a woman of that said ability. You know what I'm saying? Once you have knowledge, then you're responsible for the knowledge that you have. So you have to conduct yourself in a certain manner. That's what this 5% pledge was stating. And so they went through it and they couldn't argue with what I was saying, the way I presented my argument. And so they agreed to give me my lessons back. But I was to tell no one. It was never to leave out of my cell. And, if word got out that I was in possession of it and anybody else was aware that I was in possession of it outside of the people in that hearing, then I would go back through this process all over again and suffer the consequences. They would just do the I'm white and I say so on me. But at the hearing, they agreed with what I was saying. They saw me. I remember at that time, they saw me as a leader. I was a person who was able to kind of squash a lot of the beefs and shit that was happening there. A lot of times when staff, they had a hard time dealing with certain convicts that was in there with me and all of that. I was the person that could kind of talk a nigga off the ledge, get niggas to chill out. You know what I'm saying? And so they kind of saw me in that type of position. So they gave me my lessons back and they just told me I had to keep it to myself and all of that. But I remember, anyway, my whole point of this, sharing this with y'all, is when I was in there, I taught people how to read. It was niggas that did not know how to read. I literally taught niggas from scratch how to read. Like, look, there goes spots. Like, there was people 13, 14 years old didn't have a basic third grade reading level. And so I taught people how to read when I was in there. I used to write letters for people that didn't know how to read and write like that, or they had trouble reading and writing. I used to write letters to their family, write letters to their girl and shit like that. And so that's how I discovered that I was nice at not just rhyming, but that I was nice at writing, period. And that I was just above average when it came to literacy. You know what I'm saying? Before that, I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know. I just thought I was a street nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's how I saw myself. I was just a street nigga. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really go to school like that. You know what I mean? I only went to I did like probably 2 or 3 months of high school in total. You know what I'm saying? But I was never dumb. School just wasn't for me. I just didn't fit in. You know what I'm saying? The type of shit that I was into, I was running around with a lot of niggas that was older than me and shit like that. And so the school just wasn't part of the program for me at the time. But I was never dumb. But when I had that time to sit down for a minute, being incarcerated, I learned that about myself. It was something that it was there, but I wasn't aware of it. You know what I'm saying? And so my point was that I have an appreciation for watching people's eyes open, watching people learn something that they didn't know before. You know what I'm saying? And so it's bittersweet for me to be able to break the lyrics down for people who didn't know nothing about what I was talking about, as far as all the references and the double entendres go. So I got to see y'all eyes open and like, oh shit, you already liked the song, but then it's like, oh shit, I didn't even know that's what you were saying when you said that. I didn't even know that you was referencing that when you said that. So there's that aspect of it. But now at the same time, it's like the magic is gone. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate that, Nickety God. There you go. Mama Love know what it is. Oh yeah, Tupac Book of Poems. It was called damn, what's the name of that book? It's not the rose that grew from concrete. The book of poems, I think it was Inside a Thug's Heart or something like that. A Thug's Heart or something like that it was called. But yeah, that book was ill. That book was ill. That book was ill. That's one thing that I wish, because all of those years, I had rhymes that I was writing rhymes. I wish I had all of those lyrics. Those would be books right now. Those would be books right now. I'll be making books out of those right now if I had still had all of those lyrics. Because I was nice when I was young. I was nice when I was young. And so I remember also when I was in DFY, we had to write like an autobiography about ourselves. And it was only supposed to be like something like a summary, basically like a brief summary of your life. It was like one of the projects that they had us do while we was in there. And I remember I ended up writing like 50 pages. And like the staff and the people in there, they was just like super impressed. You know what I mean? Like I said, this is when I discovered that I had the ability to write like that. I remember they was just super impressed. And also at the end of every night, we used to have to write a goal for the next day. So in the morning when we got up and shit to go do whatever we do, one of the first things that we had to do, we had to turn in our goal. So before you go to bed that night, you had like a little sticky papers or whatever, and you write your goal of the day on there. And then, most people would just be like, my goal today, I'm gonna make sure I don't get in no trouble. It would just be something just plain and simple, basic thing. But me, I always got mad poetic with it. I took that as an opportunity just to be creative with my writing. And so I would write like proverbs type shit. You know what I'm saying? I wish I had those, because they used to use my goal of the day as an example every day. Every day, that was like an example for everybody. When we have the community meetings, I think it was called, or whatever the case may be, they used to read my goal of the day to everybody. Because the way I wrote it, it used to be like, those books. What are the name of those little books that used to, like Daily Bread, like those little Daily Bread books? I used to write it like that type of style. That's why I say I wish I still had those. I wish I would have held on to all of that stuff, because where I'm at right now, all of that, I would turn all of that into products. You know what I'm saying? Write your emotions and it will come back. Once an author, always an author. Right, my brother, right. Facts. I just got to do it. Yeah, the ability is never going to go away. I just got to do it. Just got to take the time and just sit down there and flesh it out. Get it done. Oh, they do got chess pieces. They do got chess piece emojis. Those are the pawns right there. My partner, Dope as Fuck, Decoded is a high-level conversation. Appreciate it. I'm glad that y'all appreciate it. And so next week, we're gonna do She Woke, The War Within. We're gonna do She Woke, The War Within next week. And that's a good one. That's a really, really good one right there, too. And so, yeah, look forward to that one next week. Also, tomorrow, we got the Black Business Showcase. I'm not sure who our guest is for tomorrow, but we got somebody coming through for the Black Business Showcase. So stay tuned for that. Thursday, we got the Pick Me Godcast coming up. Nicety Girl and Kate Jones going to be doing their thing. And so both of those are 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time, tomorrow and Thursday. So definitely stay tuned. Oh, Ghazi Muhammad is tomorrow. Okay. We got Ghazi Muhammad tomorrow. Ghazi Muhammad, he's a brother that owns a lot of land down here, a farm down here in Georgia. He got a bunch of stuff going on. He's a speaker, writer, I believe. He got a bunch of stuff going on. That's going to be a good conversation tomorrow with Ghazi Muhammad. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right. And so, yeah, that was the Purple Tape lyrical breakdown. Appreciate y'all tapping in with me today. Have fun breaking down that one with y'all. The War Within, the She Woke one, that one is going to be deep. That's a deep song. That's a deep song. And so, for those of y'all that don't know, there's a female that raps the second verse on the song, and she's not mentioned in the credits because I don't know. We hired her on Fiverr. So I wrote the song. I wrote both of the verses to the song. I wrote the entire song. Well, I didn't write the hook. The hook is a sample, but I wrote the lyrics to the verses on the song, and we hired the sister to do the second verse from Fiverr. And I guess Fiverr got rules where they can't really. Oh, Nathan McCall was the person who was the author of "Makes Me Want to Holler." Appreciate that, Mama Love. Make Me Want to Holler. That was a good book. You like autobiographies? Never read that? Go check it out. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I guess they got like rules on there where they don't want you to link up after they do the job with you. Like you can't link up after that or something, because we was trying to get her to come on the show to do some content with us. Like we wanted to bring her in, like she's a part of the project, you know what I'm saying? And so, but the way her response to us was like, I guess Fiverr won't let them do that. Once you sign up to offer your services on Fiverr, it's just that transaction and that's it. Like you can't give your phone number, your email, so that you guys can communicate off of Fiverr. I guess that's in the contract when you do it, something like that. And so, so I would like to have her on to get her take on her experience recording the joint, but I don't think we're going to be able to do that. But I did find her on Instagram, and I can't remember her name, but she's a rapping real estate agent. She does real estate, but on her Instagram, you know how you ever seen the rapping chef on Instagram? He be rapping all the recipes and all that. He dope as fuck. I think he be killing that shit. But she do the same thing, but with real estate. You know what I'm saying? And I did find her page, and I followed her, and I reached out to her, but she never responded to me. So I don't know what's up with that. But that's how that came about. And so we're going to do that one next week. That's going to be a good one. And so, again, you guys that are coming out to Dallas on the 27th, I'm looking forward to seeing y'all, looking forward to meeting some of y'all, chopping it up, taking some pictures, just having a good time out there. Godcast will be in the building. We're going to be vending our books, our merch, the album, all of that good stuff. Seven is going to be there with us. Nicey Girl's son, Ty, is going to be out there with us. So looking forward to meeting all y'all who are going to be out there for the FBA Expo. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, and yeah, do what Nikki the God said, man. If you want to support the Godcast, the Cashapp is $godcastent. That's the Cash App if you want to support us here at the Godcast. $godcastent. Every dollar is appreciated. And so, about to get out of here, man. But before I do that, I'm going to play this joint one last time because I like it like that.
You recognize this technique? Huh? 5 elephants. You remember.
And so remember, family, we are not the master teachers, but we are the master students and signal boosters for the voices of the new Black media. Peace and Black love.
I think I'm Ghostface, Raekwon, Purple Tape, Napalm. Rainy Days was a great song.
send fire emojis. Face palm, wait for him. The God takes his time. He studied knowledge itself, circa 85. Not to dwell on the past, these are the greatest times. Peace to those who survived the Ronald Reagan crime era, the sentence disparities, etc. The list goes on and on and on. It's a plethora. Too many injustices. Don't want to be redundant. If the 13th Amendment loophole wasn't enough to light a fire under your ass, then you gon' die a sucker. Don't want to unite with you. I don't want nothing from you but a lot of distance. I was overly optimistic, but everybody ain't gon' make it. It was written. Too many black girls lost, and even at this hour, niggas street dreaming. Would've thought that they gave you power. Watch them niggas, cause they ain't get the message. Time to take affirmative action. Peace and blessings. I think I'm Ghostface, Drake Paul, Purple Tape, Nate Paul. That 23rd letter raised me right. I got 5% left in my lyrical DNA. I think I'm Ghostface, Drake Paul, Purple Tape, Nate Paul. That 23rd letter raised me right. I got 5% left in my lyrical DNA. I think I'm just a genius. Liquid swords, mastered the 64 squares on the chessboard. My 8 pawns regulating the fort. My clan in the front do investigative reports. We in the 4th chamber, all I see is war and danger. Gotta label my inner demons and all the strangers. My horsemen got their eyes on the sparrow, and snipers on top of both castles with long barrels. The archbishop holding the double-sided blade. It's a cold world, niggas be coming sideways. Basic instructions before leaving Earth was written in the holy tablets way before I was birthed. Let's go beneath the surface with amplified samples. High price, small reward, that ain't a wise gamble. We cover every direction, you know what that means. The strongest piece on this whole team is my black queen. I think I'm Ghostface, Drake Paul, Purple Tape, Nate Paul. That 23rd letter raised me right. I got 5% left in my lyrical DNA. I think I'm Ghostface, Drake Paul, Purple Tape, Nate Paul. That 23rd letter raised me right. I got 5% left in my DNA.
It's just the love, man, the love and the loyalty, and the way they was doing it, man. It was just so sharp, man.
Pull the foot down, represent BAM.
Of course, we are lyrical assassins, and we are aware that the tongue is symbolic of the sword. You know what I'm saying? So we work with it like that.
Pull the foot down, represent BAM.
Do for self or suffer the consequences. The wisdom of Elijah's inside of the conscientious. So I move.